I work with a lot of worship leaders and worship designers, and I wonder if you would just expound on that just a little bit by way of encouragement about that work.
Yes, I've been reflecting on this for a while, because obviously one of the things that bishops do is lead worship quite a lot, and frequently I go to churches where I'm presented with a sheet of what's going to happen at the last minute, and I look at it and I think, oh dear, they really didn't get this one figured out, did they? Bless them. Because people try new things and sometimes they just don't work, and nothing wrong with trying new things. But there is a certain internal dynamic to how good liturgy works. But the point I was making this morning is that when we are celebrating the Lordship of Jesus Christ, that cannot be simply a private hobby. It's not simply we like having this little Christian jam session where we play these funny tunes and then we go out into the real world. If this worship means anything, this is the real world, and we celebrate it as such, so that metaphorically at least the doors of the church are open for all the world to be there, but also equally for the energy of that worship to go out and invite the trees in the field to join in and be clapping their hands, and invite all the humans between us and them to be doing so as well. And I think, John Wesley saw the Eucharist as a converting ordinance, didn't he? And actually believed that people should be encouraged to come to the Eucharist, and that being told to confess your sins, come up to an altar, stretch out your hands and take a gift of grace does sound pretty converting to me. You know, if you really think about what you're doing, it's hard to see how you could go through that and not be... Of course, a lot of people do go through it as an empty ritual, but in a sense that's their fault, not God's fault. So I want to see a renewal of worship, and in particular I like to challenge Christians who've been affected by the so-called renewal movements to think about the songs they sing and the music they use, because I'm all for new music. I love people doing creative, imaginative new things, but I do think that some of the things we use at the moment have actually capitulated totally to postmodernity in terms of destroying the narrative structure, both of the words and of the music, the repetition of a few musical phrases and the tossing together of words which are vaguely Christian devotional words, but which don't actually produce a narrative of any sort. I think we need to be awfully careful about going there. I tend to say to folk in my churches, look at the dates when the songs you're singing or hymns you're singing were written. And in any worship service, you should not have more than one song from each period of about 15 years. And if you have more than one, just be aware that you may be getting a little unbalanced here. Very broad brush rule of thumb. There's much more I could say, but that's for a start.